Hello, today I'm going to give a quick rundown of my baseball cards. I'm just going to do autos and patch cards. And I wanted to do this now because I realized I don't have a ton of baseball now, but I have been buying a lot on eBay. And so I'm going to be showing those cards in mail day videos. And if I was to do a roundup of the baseball cards later on, it'd be really dominated by cards that I'd already shown in videos. So let's get into it. We're going to start off with some like patch and back cards that are a lot of them are pretty random because I just picked them up when I was a kid. I got them in packs or bought them from like dollar bins at card shows or traded with friends to get them or something like that. And so they don't not like good players. There's Paul Duca. He was, I think, a catcher. This is from, what year is this? 2002. Full year. Paul Duca was good. All right, so when I said these weren't good players, I was wrong. They are good players. They're just not players that are in the league anymore. Here's Chipper Jones. This is from Fleer Platinum. It's a game-worn jersey. It's a little single-color patch, but it is game-worn, which is nice. And it's also a Pedro. I think I got these in the same box. And these were like really, really common inserts. I think they were super easy to pull, but they were perfect as a kid because they were very exciting. They were Hall of Famers that you could get real easily in an affordable box. So that's Pedro and Chipper. Next we have AJ Burnett from Leaf. Leaf, what year? 2002. And I picked up this card at some point as a kid. I don't really remember how, but I've always really liked it. I like the pinstripe. It is game worn, and AJ Burnett was a good pitcher. I think this is a really cool looking card. This is now one I remember getting out of a box. I think I got it from a Topps factory set when I was a kid. It's an A-Rod All-Star Game worn jersey piece. And again, these were really easy to pull, but as a kid, it was super exciting. A-Rod was like the best player in the league at this time. So I was super stoked when I got this. It's from 2003 Topps. So this one I pack pulled, but I pack pulled it more recently. I bought a box of this 2004. I think this is 2004 Bowman Draft Picks and Prospects. Yeah, it is. And I love this set. This is a super nostalgic set for me. I'll talk more about it later. But I bought a hobby box, and I got this Felix Hernandez Futures Game worn jersey patch, and couldn't get much better of a player. It's not a valuable card still, but I'm going to hang on to it. Felix Hernandez was a Cy Young winner, so I think that's a very cool card. Next we have Dan Herron, number 84 of 100. This was like the lowest numbered. This was like the shortest print card that I owned as a kid. I remember getting it from a dollar bin at a card show, and Dan Herron was up and down, but mostly all right in the MLB. And I thought it was really cool that had a bat piece in there. That was like very novel to me when I was a kid. You don't see many back cards anymore, interestingly. At least I don't. But and this is a cool. It's got like a Diamond Keg sort of painting there. I think this card design has aged very well. It's from I already said it's from Diamond Kings. Here we have Mark Appel. I'm not sure about this card because it's like I don't know if it's real. I don't know why anyone would fake a Mark Appel autograph at this point because he's, I think, retired. But you never know. So I don't really value this card real highly. I don't think I paid $6 for it. But I wanted a Mark Appel auto because he was a first overall pick, and he retired at like 25 or 26 without ever having thrown a pitch in the major leagues, which makes him one of the biggest busts of all time. He had a lot of injuries. But they picked him out of college first overall, and he never appeared in the major leagues. That's absolutely crazy. He was traded from the Astros to the Phillies and like never made it past Double-A. I don't think it was crazy. Here we have Matt Riley from SP Authentic. I got this off eBay recently because Matt Riley was this player I was really fascinated with as a kid because I pulled like a really cool Matt Riley insert card out of a pack, and the card talked about how great of a prospect he was. So I thought Matt Riley was gonna be this great player, and he turned out to be a bust. But I was pleased to find that he had autographs on eBay on card, and they weren't too expensive. I think this guy, he had good stuff, but he did not have control. This card's from Upper Deck 2000, so this is an old card. Here's another Orioles prospect pitcher. I grew up in southern Pennsylvania, so I was always very aware of the Orioles prospects. Here's Adam Loewen. Adam Loewen was another one I was really excited about, and he was a bust as well. He made an interesting little comeback recently as an outfielder in the Blue Jays system. I don't know if that worked out or not. I remember Adam Loewen was a Canadian, and I wanted this card as a kid, so it was fun to pick it up as an adult for $1.50. This is Bowman Signs of the Future. It's not a card auto. I can see why some people wouldn't like this set. It's not super clean, but I think it's aged reasonably well. It's from 2004, Draft Picks and Prospects. Love that set. Here's Aubrey Huff. This was, I think, maybe I got this in a trade from a friend. It's from Bowman's an on-card auto. Aubrey Huff was a very solid player. Nice bold autograph there. All right, so here's one of the Chrome autos from 2004 Draft Picks and Prospects. These are my favorite set of baseball cards ever, these Chrome autos from 2004 Draft Picks and Prospects, because I had a Beckett card guide magazine that I got at the grocery store as a kid, and it was my favorite thing to read for a year. It was ridiculous, and I just read this over and over and over again, learning about all these different prospects and their cards. And at that time, these were their best cards for that draft class. It was Houston Street, Homer Bailey, Phil Hughes, and those types of guys, and I really want to get all those cards. And this was when I got one of the boxes of it that I pulled. Mark Rogers was, I think, a first-round pick, but he had injuries and did not have any success in the big leagues. This is not the worst player in this set. He's got a nice auto, at least. Here's a really crazy card. This is from Allen and Ginter. It's I forgot this guy's name, Ryan Perry. And it's there's a little mini card inside this crazy border. It's a pretty thick stock card. Well, not really thick, but and if you shake this card around, the mini moves around inside, but it is hard signed on the mini. Ryan Perry was a highly touted prospect, actually. He threw real hard, and he had minor success as a reliever, but he's not in the leagues anymore. Kind of fizzled out. Played mostly for the Tigers, a little bit for the Nationals. I remember he was at least in their system. But I thought this was a very neat card. I'd like to pick up more cards from this set, maybe. Here's one. Ooh, I want to show that in another video. This is Josh Beckett. This one I got at the card shop in the past couple of years, and it was so present. It was listed at $5. I don't think I even paid that. And Josh Beckett was a superstar. I was surprised by how cheap this was. It's from Upper Deck Ovation Spotlight. Josh Beckett won a World Series. I think might have won a Cy Young. He was a top prospect at one point, and I just had to pick up this card. It's cool. Here's Homer Bailey. Homer Bailey was a player I mentioned, 2004. Homer Bailey was the top pitching prospect at that time, so I really wanted his cards, and I was really excited about him. He's been up and down. He threw 2 no-hitters in his career, and, he has great stuff. I like Homer Bailey, and he's been very persistent in coming back from injuries, but his career just has not worked out, and the contract he signed for the Reds, he was over $100 million, just will probably go down as one of the worst contracts in Major League Baseball history. He is still pitching. He plays for the Royals now. This is a sticker auto from SP, from Upper Deck SP. It's not his nicest card. It's a sticker auto. I want his Bowman Chrome auto. This was a card shop pickup. I did not pay anywhere near $15 for this card. Shane Baz. This is a very recent pickup. I showed this in a mail day video. Mitch Keller is in another video as well. Codis Rodon. This is the first time I've shown this card. This was a card shop pickup. It doesn't have a price on it. It's from High Tech. Sorry, Rodon. And Carlos Rodon, I have high hopes for. I think he's very good. He's been a good pitcher for a couple years, really. He misses a lot of bats, gets a lot of strikeouts. His biggest issue has probably been run support, playing on bad White Sox teams. But I think he could break out this year. He was a high draft pick out of college, I think Stanford. And it's an on-card auto from High Tech. It's a cool card. Here's Plates. Now, this is probably one of my smartest baseball card purchases of all time. I got this right at the start of last season. At the same time, I got the Rodon. And Snell then was he'd been a highly touted prospect, but he'd been pretty up and down in the majors. And I got this card for not much. I think between $5 and $10. And last year, of course, Blake Snell won the Cy Young, and he's one of the best young pitchers in baseball. He's off to a hard start again this year. It's an on-card out from High Tech. It's a sick card, and I'm really happy to have this, and I'm happy I got it when I did. Next, Riley Pint. This is Bowman's Best auto. Riley Pint throws real hard. I think he's a triple-digit guy. Still in the minor leagues. I don't think he's pitched in the majors at all, but he's a bright pitching prospect, and I like to collect these guys. This card was not expensive. There's Sean Newcomb. I really like Sean Newcomb. He's another one of the guys on my fantasy baseball team. He has issues. Walks has always been the detractor for him. He had issues with just physical fitness early on, but I think he's in good shape now. I think he's underrated. He has good stuff. He's young. He's a left-hander, and he did pitch well last year for the most part. And this is his auto from Bowman's Best. Rogers, this card was in a mail day video. Shane Baz, that was in a mail day. See if I can kind of move these stack into the frame there. Is that fine? No, that's kind of in the way. Here, Michael Kopech. This is probably one of the more valuable cards I have. Michael Kopech is a top 20 prospect. He did go up to the majors last year, pitched very well, was missing a lot of bats, but he had to go down for Tommy John surgery, and it was a real shame. Had him in fantasy, and I really could have used him in the playoffs. But I'm still excited about Michael Kopech. I think he has a lot of star power. He's a guy who throws triple digits, which helps a lot. And I think this card, I think it was $14 or $15. Yeah, it was $15, and I think I paid that. I think that's very reasonable for a young pitcher of this caliber. Garrett Richards, this guy's one of my favorite pitchers. It's a shame he's just injured all the time. He's just recently had Tommy, I think, and he's going to miss all of this year. This guy could have been an ace and a superstar, I think. Now it might be too late for him. I don't know, but I like Garrett Richards. This is from Bowman Sterling. Matt Bush, this is a fun one. Matt Bush is a crazy story. We don't have enough time to talk about it, really, but he was the first overall pick from high school by the Padres and just became a drooling alcoholic and fell out of baseball together. Went to jail for vehicular homicide. And recently he's made a comeback as a relief pitcher, and he's done pretty well for the most part as a relief pitcher. I'd rather have his Bowman Chrome. He's part of that 2004 draft class. I'd rather have that Bowman Chrome auto, but I picked up this Bowman Heritage auto. I got it because it was the cheapest on-card auto. His cards were kind of hot at the time, a year ago. And so I had to settle for this one. There's Matt Bush. We'll see what happens with him. Interesting character for sure. Jeff Allison. Here's another one kind of like Matt Bush. Jeff Allison was not a first overall pick, but I think he was a top 5 pick out of high school. And I think it was 2004. I think he was 2004 draft class, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it was around that time. And he had crazy stuff. He was a high 90s guy in high school. And I think he had some injuries put him on painkillers, and he became just a slobbering drug addict. Fell out of baseball, never pitched in the major leagues. This might be his only auto. No, I think he has a Topps auto. And this is a sticker from Upper Deck. You know, he's just throwing in shorts, and just in running shorts. I think this card's super cool. I would buy more Jeff Allison cards if I could find them cheap. Lucas Giolito, this guy's a bust. He's still going, and he's still young, but I'm a Nationals fan, and there was so much hype around Lucas Giolito. He was the number one prospect in baseball, I think. And he got traded. Him and Reynaldo Lopez got traded for Adam Eaton, and Giolito went to the White Sox, and he's been pretty bad. I think this guy was really overrated when he was in the minor leagues. I think is kind of the story on him. But I picked this card up just 'cause it's kind of nostalgic, like remembering the hype. It's from Inception. It's on card. It's nice. Here's another card from the same set. Ooh, I'm going to show that in another video. Hanley. You guys have seen that in a mail day. Like that card. Shelby Miller. Seen that in a mail day. See, there are already a lot of mail day cards in here. Oh, here's one you haven't seen before. Drew Henson. I talked about Drew Henson in obscure quarterback videos because he was also an obscure quarterback, but he tried baseball first, was third baseman for the Yankees. This is an auto on these. I think these are basically sticker autos. I think they sign a sheet, like a paper sheet, and then they cut out the autos to put in cards. I'm not sure, but I don't really like this type of auto very much. This is numbered. It's number 241 and 246, which is short print for this time. I would pick up more Drew Henson baseball and football if I could find it cheap. It's Mike Fultonavich, not one of my favorite players. I always have Fulte in baseball because he's had so many clutch performances for me. This is a patch auto. It is a sticker auto, and it's a Panini card, so there's no licensing. So it's definitely not his best card, but it has got the painting, sort of Diamond Kings. It is Diamond Kings. And it wasn't expensive. There's no price on it. I did pick this up at the card shop. Ooh, yeah, bad year. And then Fulton's guy, he throws really, really hard, and he struggled in the minors, but he got better in the majors, and he's an ace now. Love this guy. Ooh, that's for another video. So is that one. There we go. Jay Groom. This was an eBay purchase from about a year ago. It's number 35 of 50. It's from Bowman Platinum. And it's some sort of parallel. I think this is one of my favorite sticker autos. I wish it was on card, but I think it just looks sick anyway. Jay Groom was, I think, a top 10 or maybe top 15 pick out of high school. There was a lot of hype around him. He's a lefty. He's big. He throws real hard. He was like a high 90s guy in high school. And I think there were some character concerns with him, so he fell in the draft. I don't remember what it was all about, but his prospect stock has dropped really drastically in the past few years. He recently had Tommy. He's rehabbing. I think he'll miss all of this season. We'll see what happens with him, Still young. He's a Red Sox player, so that kind of boosts the value of his cards. And now we have the Glasnow cards. You've seen these two. The more I look at this card, the more I really like it. And then I don't think I've shown this one. This is a Bowman Sterling auto. It's a sticker auto, and the Bowman Sterling Glasnow auto is probably the lowest. The lowest end Topps Glasnow auto. The only thing that's cheaper is some of the Panini autos that don't have licensing. The Panini sticker autos from Optic or Prism or whatever. This card though is a green parallel, so it's numbered. It's numbered to 125, and I don't see these anywhere near as much as I see the base Sterling auto. This was a card shop pickup. Doesn't have a price on it, but I think it was listed at 10 and I paid 5 or something like that. And it's kind of fun because it shows the evolution in Glasnow's signature. Here's very careful, ooh, dot. It's very swirly and fancy. And then here he signed 10,000 cards probably in between, just ooh, TG. So that's kind of fun to see. Lots more baseball coming soon, and I'll catch you in the next video.